Today is the day for the boys to come out and play. Play games, that is, because this is the Why Do Boys Make podcast, the companion podcast to the Why Do Boys Play Games Fantasy Football League. And I like to think this is a very special episode, and not just because I, Mr. Loser Colin, am hosting, but because I am joined by two big winners. So let's meet the first one. Here he is. He's a slim 6'3" with legs as smooth as butter. He likes bumper cars and the letter X. It's Corby.
I do have smooth legs. Funny. I've been asked a lot of times in my life if I shave my legs. The answer is no. I just don't grow hair there. It's awesome. Great to be here. Great to be back as always. Fresh off and eating a W. Thanks for having me.
And let's not forget host number 2. He's the hulking Irishman of the swamp, and he drives a sweet Cadillac and collects American Girl dolls. It's Fitzy.
Colin, I would like to set the record straight because you just said something incorrect. I didn't win. I suck at fantasy.
You lost? Oh shit!
Well, we will get into it.
Oh, that's why you played Mike. Oh no! We're joined by one big winner this week. It's Corby.
Yeah. No, as soon as you said the line about bumper cars, I knew I wasn't getting introed first. So thank you, Colin.
Yeah. You're not. You're more of a one of those swinging pirate ships kind of guy. The Viking ships, you know. And speaking of Viking ships, normally this is where we do mailbag. We'd go straight into mailbag, but it's time for a special segment from me. It's time for Colin's Game Corner. You guys seeing this?
Yes, we're seeing it. Yes.
It's Colin's Game Corner.
You should. I'm serious. You should actually hit the hide button before we keep going, though.
That's part of the game. All right. Fitzy, 1 point for Fitzy. All right, this is a Colin's Game Corner, but don't worry, Fitzy, because this is a game for Corby. This game is called Was Corby Listening While We Talked at the Big E the other day? It turns out that it was actually an elaborate plan for me to quiz Corby on whether he was listening and paying attention to things because we met at the Big E the other day. We ran into each other. Would you go to the Big E at all, Fitzy?
I did not. We missed it this year.
All right. First question for Corby. Was I wearing my glasses at the Big E?
Yes.
I was wearing my glasses. That's a point for Corby. That's 100 points. Name one activity that me and Kim did at the Big E.
Oh,
for 200 points.
I certainly cannot do that.
I'd like to steal here. You went to the petting zoo.
We saw some animals and ate some food and did some stuff. Fitzy gets 200 points.
Everyone does the same thing at the Big E, right?
What color bead necklace did I get from the parade, Corby? For 300 points.
Was it purple?
It was purple! Corby was paying attention
to the
color of the necklace.
I'm a really good friend, except for when you tell me what you're doing, apparently.
That's the easiest question so far. I would have accepted anything. What do we got here? What gesture did I perform when I saw you? Do you remember?
It was at this. We went in for a hug. We both went in for a hug. But I don't. Or was it this? I
can't see you. I see the slideshow, so you have to describe it.
Oh! It's you like taking your hands and doing like a squeezing thing, or it's you like doing like a come here type movement.
It was akimbo finger guns at the knee level. Is that something like Corby was doing? Probably. He'll get.
Is this something that I should remember or?
Yes, obviously you should remember it.
Okay, cool.
Wait, what do you mean, the game or like the specific gesture I did?
Just a specific gesture. Was I paying attention? Does it something that I should pay attention?
You get half friendship points for.
Okay. As the main character,
I thought it was really funny.
Always pay attention.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. So I was like, oh, Corby's going to remember this.
It was super funny, obviously.
What sweatshirt was Kim wearing?
I don't remember what sweatshirt Kim was wearing, but I know that you were wearing your Home Depot one.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Can you tell me what color it was?
Gray.
For getting my wife's existence, it's a green Fitchburg University sweatshirt. He's forgotten my wife's existence. That's 0 points for this one. And that was Colin's Game Corner. Final tally: Corby gets I think he got 450 points, and Fitzy gets 200 points. Here we go. That's that was Colin's Game Corner. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun, Colin. We should play that again sometime, perhaps after we all record a little bit of a live podcast this upcoming weekend.
Shit.
Oh, brother.
Good idea. Yeah, that's right. So be paying attention, guys, to everything I do and say. And speaking of saying and doing things, it's time for the mailbag. Let's look at the comments. Roll the tape, Fitzy.
All right. Our very first podcast comment of the week here comes from Icehead 0001. And it's also our most liked and loved comment of the week here. I think the podcast should be longer. Let's try to make that happen.
Well, my question is, you said at the beginning, you were like, oh, some league mates, but this got 7 thumbs up. So who are the league mates who said it should be shorter? And is it Tyler?
Colin, I cannot tell a lie. I made it up because I knew we had the fullest mailbag we've ever had. It was for the content. We know our listeners want more pod, and we're here to deliver it.
Maybe we should make a podcast every day. We should become
We'd have to start vlogging. Speaking of vlogging, let's give a live like here to Icehead saying, love that slurp cam, Chris Colby.
Yeah.
It was a great segment. It was just a great segment.
Awesome. I really appreciate the video, Chris. It took a lot of hoofla to post a video like that and just to send it to me. You're a good friend. I appreciate it.
Speaking of good friends, here's our good friend Adam, who says CMC won't be back till week 10 at the earliest. He's willing to bet on this. Honestly, I agree. That's why I really wanted to trade him away. But, who knows what's going to happen? What do you guys think?
I think he went to Germany this week to get controversial treatment. I don't know if you saw this, but it's true. He flew to see a specialist in Germany for medical treatments they aren't allowed to do in the U.S.
Yeah, it was stem cells from baby abortions or whatever.
They're putting babies in his Achilles. I say that's one like from me.
That does not sound like week 6 he'll be back. That doesn't sound good. Oh,
Chris,
look at this
with
photo.
A new picture here. That's a like and a love right there for Chris Colby, Fantasy Football 4 at Colin. I lose the Cousin Chris Bowl all the time.
This is in context to Colin not knowing what show up means for something.
Well, he taught us all this week, and we'll get into that later.
We're going to pre-like and love this next one because it's another real fan. Who the hell wants shorter episodes? Fake fans. Mike saw through my clever ruse. Colin, why don't you read this one?
Colin's Carson Steele bids were insane. Adam's in 3 leagues with me. And I think in all of them I bid like $60. Nobody was very close. He did okay. He was their starter. He did okay. Got like 8 points. All right. Go Carson Steele. Better than DeAndre Swift for sure.
That's a very good metric.
More slurp comments. Great slurp, cousin. Thanks for commenting. I like it.
Uh-oh.
Chris says, hey, I picked Fitzy, and he won.
Oh.
Red alert. Yeah, I was wrong last week. We're going to flash up last week's fantasy suicide because I told people that in week 2, if you picked me, you lost. But that's just wrong. I actually won in week 2. I was just that pessimistic about my week 3 outlook. So we're giving a quick early look at the 2 people that picked me, got back in the pool. It was pretty much a round of Chris Cloud, unless you had already picked him this week. So Chris Colby went with Corby. We have 4 who have survived and advanced to week 4. Nice. To be honest, this is a much better survival rate than real football. If you've been paying attention to people trying to pick in Survivor, it's been crazy out there.
I thought what happened is like you did that chart before because you had a Monday night victory with Devontae, and I was like, I thought maybe you just assumed you lost or something.
It was a Freudian slip from my constant pessimism about my own team. Colin, I'll give you a little hint. You're not going to like who I pick in week 4.
Oh, no. Fitzy, you just had a good week. Let's keep going. 29% chance of victory before the week. I like my odds. The Chris Bowl is going down in the history books. We'll get into it. It didn't. It did not.
It's going down in the history books only because I write down the
way
score
down
from every game. It's going down in the history books in only one metric.
Oh, Corby, you like Deontay Foreman. Why don't you?
I do. Yeah. So Adam said Deontay Foreman with the rocket ship emoji. Can you please translate that to English for me?
Let's give a live translation here. Oh, sí, me gusta.
Okay, so it says so it says Deontay Foreman with the rocket emoji, just like I said. So yeah, this was a great comment, and he ended up with I think 0.5 fantasy points on the week. So good try. Swing and a miss.
Must have been the new SpaceX rocket or the Boeing rocket. The one they couldn't get down.
Yes.
Adam says, I think Adam's going to swindle somebody. Coming from Colin. Where do I start?
Is it a swindle if they send you the offer?
I mean, I actually have been thinking about this trade a lot recently,
Thank you.
yeah, and I think I have turned the tide, and I do agree that it's definitely.
Look at Derek Carr out there. J.K. Dobbins, he didn't do great this week, but he got the volume. And don't even get me started on the Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews swap, okay?
Oh, we're going to get you started.
We're gonna
not
get
yet, but we will get you started. Don't you worry, Colin. You're going to be yelling about 30 minutes from now.
Oh, I know that I lost by one.
Hey, Josh Johnson will start a game this season. Bet. Actually, I'll bet against it. That's what the thumbs down means. Adam, give me a text. Let's talk about Josh Johnson. Oh, that's right. Mad Libs time,
Mad Libs.
everybody. We get to read out our Mad Libs on air. So Adam was the only one to participate, but I think he's really going to like that.
Somebody at Mike did, I think.
Mike also made one too.
Oh, okay. I haven't scrolled up that far. So I'm going to read this one off. That fantasy football makes me feel cheery when Fozzie Whitaker murders his eyelashes. If I don't score 43 points this week, I might quit so Colin Swords can finally get their chance to join the league next year.
No!
Unfortunately, Colin, he did score 43 points.
Oh, wow. Fozzie Whitaker did?
Oh, no! Mike, delete that comment and end the numbers you saw on the screen last week right away. All right. Mike's turn for Mad Libs.
Is it the same lib?
Fantasy football makes me feel jubilation when Matt Jones swindles his nipple. If I don't score 42 points this week, I might quit so Peter Griffin can finally get their chance to join the league next year.
Classic.
Yeah, I only wrote one. Sorry. I didn't realize that Mike commented as well. So excellent stuff. Oh, Mike, this is a like and a lover right here. He did, in fact, drink up my milkshake this week. He drank it up.
Here's what Mike says about my outro. He says, how dare you interrupt Degrassi with Nico Cotto, avocados, wanna be Riddler video. Okay, but it was great, though. You guys know a lot about that whole thing?
What was the inspiration by blending Degrassi and Nico Cotto together? Like, what the...
Well, the
what
Degrassi thing was because, you know, I think I just finished like a 4-hour Degrassi retrospective video on YouTube, so
Excellent.
So that's at the forefront of my mind, and then, you know, the Nico Cotto's just like, it's just been everywhere. This madman. I don't know why they didn't really go together.
It really was kind of like you hit the Wikipedia random article generator just twice and said, that's the outro this week, everybody.
That's genius. That's what I should do.
Please don't make an Andy Dalton versus Bo Nick segment. I'm inspired. Let's see what we come up with next week.
We'll put it in the lab.
I think he'd like it.
I have to put the bow on this because I really do need to go back real quick and show you. I don't know if you guys saw. We had another comment on last week's episode.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I didn't know
A surprise that I need to get to the bottom of.
No. I don't think we do.
Wait,
do you know what this is, Corby?
No. Let me see.
We had a comment here from longtime fan, first-time commenter, Yogi Phony. Yogi Fanoy, who said, I think that intro just made me into a new man.
Who is
Yeah.
it?
Well, let's check out the channel. 48 subscribers. Another day at the office. Do we know who this is?
That's not him, is it? That's like a
that's like a meme guy.
Yeah.
Looks like he's
Does it have commentary, that video?
I see some Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike player. Played some Rust 20 hours ago. So this is a gaming YouTuber.
Shouts out.
So absolute shout out to Yogi Fanoy.
For some
I say
reason,
it's time to bring it back. You know, thank you for becoming potentially, you know, you're on the list. You could become our 19th subscriber. The road to 20 runs through Yogi Fanoy.
for some reason, I think that might have been that's our most viewed video on this channel. I don't know why that episode. It just blew up. It might have been the outro.
The algorithm, it really did trip into the algorithm there, Colin. You're absolutely right. We really thought we were going to get there with some of our other, you know, Silver Watch. Thought we'd crack 100. Nope. it took weeks 1 and 2 of the Why Do Boys Play Games season 4 podcast. So we're building something here, guys. We're really building.
Right.
This
Well, then
good.
last week I think we got 40 views, so a strange regression.
It's time for us to make a complaint video to YouTube saying, I don't understand the algorithm, where this is impacting our AdSense.
All right, you guys ready to get into week 3? Roll music. Here we go. First game we're looking at is our very own Mike Corbett versus Sleepy Eric, who scored a nice 170. That's a great score. Not as good as Corby, who scored kissing the edge of 200 with 198.44, led by, the 3-touchdown game from Kyron. And Andy Dalton's, redemption arc is who doubles as the entire Panthers offense redemption arc, which resulted in 26.2 points from the great Deontay Johnson. Corby, let's hear the analysis.
Yeah, so my analysis here for this week is, we're kind of in the thick of it. We're about to round out the first month of fantasy, and so we're finally seeing some guys actually break out. And so I wanted to highlight the breakouts on each of these players' teams. My team was pretty much my whole team broke out finally. Burrow had the best game that I've ever seen him play in a fantasy roster. In my fantasy roster, Kyron was awesome. Deontay was awesome. Terry McLaurin was awesome. Jawan Jennings on my bench scored 46 points. I was actually scared last night before the game started because I just didn't know what to expect because, I don't take these things for granted. So I think my whole team broke out. Feels great. Eric's team also broke out and he scored almost 170, right? Daniel Jones is back. Is Daniel Jones back into form? It's great. It's exciting to see. Love to see it. Kincaid has a great game. Amari Cooper finally breaks out. Good job, Eric. Sorry you had to play me this week. I needed the win really bad, so I got it.
Yeah, Corby, you mentioned the 46 points on your bench, right? So you had the opportunity here. It would have been crazy to do it, to bench Zay Flowers, who's been like a PPR darling for Juwan. You wouldn't have done it, but if you had, you would have had the most points ever scored in this league by 20. Yeah, it could have been, when you say all your players broke out, like Kyle Pitts, you'd hope for more out of him. I'm like, hit the doubt button. But then I look up and down and I'm like, you're absolutely right. You probably could have, in a realistic world, benched Cam Akers for Juwan Johnson.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And we'd be sitting here talking about, you really could have had 5 more points. You should have had the highest scoring week in league history this week. So Eric, you can't be too mad about this. You ran up against a once in a generation week here from Corby.
And just to review, we all picked Corby for this one, with me and Corby locking this one in.
Oh fuck! Sorry, wrong button.
Oh boy, here we go. This was maybe the first toilet bowl of the season. I don't know if there was if we've had any lower combined scores in this one. It was a Monday night nail biter as James Cook almost scored some points, but then they were winning by too much, so they said, "Do your thing, Ray Davis." It was a bad game by me. Shout out to Mark Andrews for 0 points. Did he get one target? Did he get a target?
He got one target at the end of the game.
Okay. It is what it is. I don't think I had anyone really on my bench, so it was just a bad week for me. Oh, the one bright spot of this one is that while the Monday night was going on, I was watching the Golden Bachelorette with Joan. So I was checking my phone sometimes, but luckily it didn't hurt too much because I got to look at Joan's beautiful 60-year-old face, and she's doing great out there, guys. Consider this a plug for our sponsorship, ABC.
Thank you for that, Colin. It takes a real host to plug that one. My note for you here was, you say no one on your bench really did anything. Were you close to putting Tutu Atwell in over Jordan Whittington?
No.
Was that a close one for you?
No.
Because in hindsight, obviously, that was the difference between winning and losing, which feels insane for a week where you score 114. Heck of a matchup here. There's a few notes about, what really made the difference here. Pittsburgh's defense showing up and matching your Indianapolis one. This could have been one of those odd, I love a defense win week. Luckily for our good friend Brandy, it was not the case. Brady's got DK Metcalf catching 60-yard bombs. Love that guy. Love to see a win because of it.
Jonathan Taylor finally breaks out. Gets 2 rushing touchdowns, over 100 yards from scrimmage. It's awesome. And Colin, I was looking for the bright spot on your team, but Fitzy took the words out of my mouth, and maybe your breakout is Tutu Atwell, and maybe he actually is the wide receiver to own in LA, and maybe that would be good for you, and so you don't have to start Whittington or whatever his name is. So.
And Colin, before I hit next slide, do you want to now talk at all about the whole you could have started Zach Ertz and won this week?
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about how I could have started Zach Ertz and won this week. This game was one Zach Ertz start away from me winning. I think you got what do you have?
This is like the ultimate cosmic justice to me after everyone was clouding it. Like you, so funny.
Could have used Derek Carr out there. That's okay though. Let's look at this next game where the other victim of that trade. We got 2 victims in this trade. Oh wow, Zach Ertz finished with 8.8. Look at that. What a great player. Where Chris Colby lost to Chris Cloud in this Chris Bowl, and his good player was Josh Allen, and Quentin Johnston.
His good player.
His good player was Josh Allen, and Quentin. Oh, Derek Carr did terrible, and Quentin Johnston. It was okay too. So that's his highlight of the week for me.
Hey, let's be nice. Rico Dowdle outscored his projection.
All right, let's go. Josh Reynolds. The 2 tight end flex with Zach Ertz and Colby Parkinson. Is that it? What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 2 tight end swag strat with the Colby swag strat. It's highly respectable. To me, it's like I am only surprised that this was only a 50-point game. You know, like this could have been a disaster. Everything was lining up for Chris Cloud. That is, especially with that. I gotta say it again. The changing of the Yahoo name bump that we all knew who he was going to get. I thought he was going to score 240 this week, not you, Corby. So really kind of laid up on Chris Colby here a little bit.
Chris could not have won this one, Chris Colby, I should say, but he could have had his 2 breakouts on his bench. He could have had Jacoby Myers and Demario Douglas as his flexes instead of Rico Dowdle and Josh Reynolds. That would have been good. Nice moral victory. And Chris, I mean, Dallas Goedert literally had the best game of his fantasy football career. He had scored 27 points. What a breakout for him. And now there's uncertainty with the players in the Philadelphia pecking order. And then Chris Olave also breaked out too. So nice, Chris. Good win. And you're 2-1 now, and you're firmly in second place.
Yeah, maybe I'll take the next one here. Taylor, unfortunately, only putting up 94 points against Throw Rogan, who beats him up here by about 50. 54, in fact. And it's just a weird one on both sides here. It's basically the fact that Chris's quarterbacks and Jamar Chase did well. Everyone else kind of chipped in. Devon A-Chain didn't do great. Trey McBride only had 5 points. But it doesn't matter when Taylor's side has 2 players score under a point in Ramondre Stevenson and Gus Edwards. You were not expecting that out of those 2 going into the year. If there's any bright spot, it's that Taylor owns Adam Thielen in what is now one of the highest powered offenses in the NFL in the Carolina Panthers.
Is he on IR? What does that say?
He's on IR.
Hurt?
Oh no! That's terrible.
There goes the one bright spot. The one bright spot for me with Taylor was Amon-Ra's been hit or miss kind of this year, but the stack that Goff, Amon-Ra got him some decent pointage this week. Goff was, middling. It's been a weird year for quarterbacks, I think. It's just some weird, it's just such a random position. But great win for Chris, who really needed this one to secure that 2-1 spot. One of those players I was wrong about, at least so far, is Austin Eckler, who seems to just somehow produce every week. That Jaden Daniels Eckler stack is deadly. Fitzy, if the draft happened again today, would you draft Jaden Daniels over Anthony Richardson?
Like knowing what I know now and that he scores more points? Well, knowing that he scores more points, yes, I would draft him. Yes. I don't want to say we'll get into it. Before this podcast, I rushed to get these slides ready. I only mentally prepared to talk about one thing, and it's 2 slides from now. So we'll save the Anthony Richardson talk.
On my end here, I've got 2 breakouts. I've got for Chris P, I've got Jamar finally not throwing a hissy fits and finally breaking out, having a great game, having a Jamar game that we expect. And Taylor, I looked up and down this roster quite a bit, and at least you have Jake Ferguson to put in next week instead of Hunter Henry. Jake Ferguson had like 15 points. There's your tight end that you've been looking for all along. He is who we thought he was. And Taylor also is who we thought he was. Bad at fantasy, I guess. Sorry, Taylor.
Speaking of bad at fantasy, let's talk about Adam. I'm kidding, Adam. Please don't comment about me. You're the best, okay? Stop. So Adam beats Tyler here. It is our second lowest scoring matchup of the week. Really kind of buoyed by the three pillars on Adam's side scoring over 20. You got Rashee Rice, Zach Moss, and Rome Odunze coming out party here. Caleb Williams finally kind of looked like a quarterback. He had those two picks. Like, if you watch that game, you were basically seeing lowlights for so much of the game. It was just Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams duking it out to see who could lose that game. That was a lot of fun. My question for you guys, and I'm sorry I'm not talking about Tyler here. I'll leave that for you. But are you worried about the Chiefs? Are you worried that Patrick Mahomes is just kind of like okay at fantasy now?
I mean, I was worried before the season. I'm sure I had him right around like 12, in my rankings. I don't know where I had him, but so I ranked Adam lowest because he did really bad in not bad, but he was mediocre in the last half of last year, I think. And it's carried over. It's just they win games, but they don't need to. It's kind of like Tom Brady for years. Wasn't a great fantasy quarterback, but they were a great team because they didn't need him to throw for like 5,050. So the Chiefs just win games. That's what they do.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I'm not worried about them, and they're going to probably win the Super Bowl again this year. But
for fantasy,
I'm not interested anymore.
I was going to save this one for the transaction side, but just because we haven't talked about Tyler, before we move on, Tyler, if you're listening, did you know Austin Hooper is on the New England Patriots? He's available. If you're looking for a totem, there's only one way for you to go, and that's up if you're a Hooper.
There is one thing I know about Tyler, and it's rostering Austin Hooper.
No. It's not rostering Austin Hooper. It's starting Austin Hooper again and again, and he's going to get my favorite stat line: the 0 reception, 0 yard, 1 2-point conversion game. Austin Hooper is a blessing for fantasy football. All right, so. Wow, I scored 156 points. I can't feel too bad about that. Let's see who my top 3 scorers were. Green Bay defense, Chuba Hubbard, Devin Singletary. What the fuck happened to my team this week? I don't understand this. Devonta Smith, if you saw him get hit, he's out for at least a week or two. Like, he's not coming back from that quickly. Anthony Richardson is a great fantasy player in theory. He's good at football in theory, but in practice, this guy's scoring 5 points and throwing it to the wrong team half the time. Deshaun Watson, I saw this stat. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback leading a historically bad offense, the worst that has been since 2000 for the Cleveland Browns. Think about all the bad offenses the Cleveland Browns have had since the year 2000, and this one is the worst one. I don't understand how he even had 16 points. Like, it doesn't compute. Jahmyr Gibbs had a receiving touchdown without a reception. How does that happen? So anyway, the one bright spot here is that my tight end finally scored at least 5 points. Happy about that, and maybe Sam Laporta will play in 3 weeks. I don't like this team. It's funky. It's weird all over the place. I really liked Mr. Williams here for Detroit. Thought he was a real wide receiver one. Gets 1 catch and a negative 7-yard rush on the game. This one made me want to puke. And then Mike kind of lifted my spirits by pushing me down. No miracles this time. We will get into it. I'm going to brush over the team name for now. I'll let you guys talk about all the nice things on Mike's team and the 216 being a really nice score. I just wanted to yell at my team for a while.
Yeah, let me go super quick here, Colin, so you can jerk Mike off for a bit. Cole Kmet, definitely the breakout here. Awesome tight end. Can he fill your hole that you have in your tight end position? That is the question. And then Fitzy, you led with it. You buried the lead. Chuba Hubbard has finally arrived in the NFL just in time for Jonathan Brooks to be ready to rip roaring and ready to go. Is it possible the Panthers are an NFL team now? I mean, I don't know, but it was a great showing and maybe a possible breakout game for Chuba.
Yeah, it looks like Mike's got the best team in the league. He's leading the whole league in points. He's 3-0. This is the battle of the 2-0 teams. We all picked Fitzy except Fitzy. So good job, Fitzy. By the way, last game we all picked Tyler when Adam won. So I'm sure Adam can comment how he proved us all wrong, rightfully so. But great game from Mike. Obviously led by Saquon and Breece Hall. I mean, maybe not led by Breece Hall, but his team has been led by Breece Hall. And the Andy Dalton redemption arc is just, I love it. We all love the Red Rocket. Great team, Mike. Great performance. I always like when Mike has a good team because it doesn't happen every once. It's like Haley's Comet, Doesn't you only get it once in a while, but when it comes, it's beautiful.
Once every 74 years, Mike drafts Saquon Barkley and he doesn't get injured.
Well, let's be
knocking on wood for you, Mike. At least there's one thing I'm good at, and that's picking these games right. 13-5, 3-0 in locks of the week. I don't know why I locked in one but suicided another in week 2. But shout out to all the people here in Suicide still alive, including Chris Colby and Eric, who got their Fitzy pick out of the way. That's a real loser team for you to have a win with. That's really going to strengthen your chances into week 4, 5, 6, 7. And with that, it's time for our favorite segment, Name Changes.
This is obviously a slight at Fitzy. Well, Mike was absolutely beating him off, if you know what I'm saying. What I'm looking at here, I'm trying to see who is in the photo.
Sorry, I should have hit
Thank you.
Enhance. Wrong transition, but here we go. I will tell you, it's Saquon Barkley as Thanos choking Chuba Hubbard. It's genius. It's genius. I've got no further notes.
Mike does have the tendency to call out his fantasy opponent, and he's one of like maybe 2 people that will do that in this league. So I like it. I respect it. The photo is awesome. 5 booms.
It's the details in the photo again is what get me. At first, I thought that this was Saquon smoking the limpest cigarette in the world. I thought Mike painted it. It's clearly a mouth guard upon full zoom in here. And I saw the Panthers helmet, and I still thought to myself, like, why is he choking Bryce Young? Like, clearly it's Chuba. It's clearly Chuba. And you didn't need to choke him. He scored 27 points, and you beat me by like 60. So shout out, Mike. Definitely not allowing miracles with the highest score so far this year.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was like a reference to like a past time when you had like a come from behind or a Monday night thing or something, but no, I guess it's just a quote from the movie. But that's cool too. That's funny. That's good. Mike always
No. Mike, an avid listener, noticed that in the intro last week, I said I feel great. I've had 2 Monday night, Sunday night sweats. I don't think I used the word miracle right away, but yeah, I've had a couple Sunday night, Monday night miracles this year.
And is that also, does Thanos say that? I don't know. I don't know if is that a quote from the movie? I don't know. If it's not, then that's really cool. I love the name. It just sounds really cool.
I might have to cut this part because I think we're the 3 people in the world who didn't watch all the Marvel movies.
Oh, I've seen them all. I don't know the transcripts. There's too many memes and quotes for me to remember them all. Yeah, good job, Mike. I give it a 5. Mike's he's always at the top of the name game and the picture game.
All right, so this next team, we're not going to have a zoom in on the picture because it's Old Faithful. Muffler stealing, catalytic converter ripping off Aaron Rodgers as Throw Rogan.
I still love the picture. I feel like the picture is just great. It has not worn out its welcome yet. I don't understand the name, I guess. I don't get it.
Okay, so I'll say this is one of my favorite team names because Chris is staking his claim as I'm going to keep this picture all year. And you're totally right. It is aging like a fine ayahuasca. Throw Rogan here is it's just a reference to the fact that some people have called Aaron Rodgers Throw Rogan. He's like Joe Rogan as a quarterback, right? He's open to many theories, right? So yeah, I think it's a fantastic name. I've heard it before, right? But that doesn't mean I don't give it some originality points for pairing it with such a fine wine of that team picture.
Yeah, it's good. It's like a perfect wine pairing, like you said, Fitzy. I'm gonna give it 4 booms. I'll give it 4 big booms.
Yeah, I like it too. It's good.
All right,
I'll give it 3.
All right, what the fuck is this?
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone then.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at? It's I like. Okay, so Joker lips. Manning fireworks. So it looks like we've got Pat Mahomes with Joker lips, right? That is he by Manning fireworks. Is he like manning them? Like he's
that's my assumption. Yeah. He's manning the fireworks station.
All right. Who the fuck is this guy in the back drinking a beer? I like this. This is great. It's really good. I really need the backstory. I need the thought process. I'm absolutely fascinated by this.
Yeah, this is the most esoteric team name of the week, maybe of the year, and maybe, dare I say it, that we've ever had. I don't understand this at all. Adam's always got me Googling stuff. I didn't find it. Maybe I Googled it wrong, but like, Adam, we need you here. I'm not going to rate this until I know more. This goes into the TBD rating category for me.
It's hard for me to rate this because it feels like contemporary art, and it's like I feel like it's at a personal level. This is something that I would see like at Mass Mocha, and like I would stand there and be like, "Wow, this is a lot. This is really cool." So I actually do think that it ascends the boom meter, and with that, I'm gonna give it meat.
Me. Oh, me.
Congratulations, welcome to the meat meter.
I agree with Corby. I think it's a 6 out of 5. I love it. It's great. This is right up my alley.
Really yeah, it's awesome.
All right, it's that time. Let's roll it, Corby. It's time for transactions, and we got the big trade of the week, the second trade of the season with Fitzy's desperate for a tight end. He trades away Jordan Mason for Sammy Laporta. Personally, I don't like it. I get you were desperate for a tight end, and I'm not just saying that in hindsight because Laporta didn't do very good, but I get it though. The season is young, and Jordan Mason won't start forever probably, so I get it. But what do you think, Corby? Before we let Fitzy give his spiel.
I love this trade. I was really jealous because I really wanted either Sam Laporta or Brock Bowers from Brandy, and I was trying to scheme something up to make it work. I just could not do anything, and I know hindsight is 2020, right? He's hurt, but like I thought this was a very fair trade. I think makes sense, a lot of sense for both players, and I think by the time McCaffrey's back, Brandy will have already found somebody to replace Jordan Mason. But by the looks of things, by fucking McCaffrey traveling to Germany, he might not be back for a while. So it's hard to say. I like the trade. I give it a B+.
What you might be interested to know is that I offered Brandy Jordan Mason for Sam Laporta and separately Jordan Mason for Brock Bowers. I just said both of these are on the table for you.
And she took this one.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I admittedly was a little surprised as well. I had initially thought, I'll offer Sam Laporta first, and then if that's a no, then I'll go Bowers. But then I thought about the psychology of trades. I sometimes think that having like an a la carte option makes people more likely to, feel like they have the choice. It's like having a dialogue without the back and forth. So Brandy accepted it. I want to say within like 15 minutes. I had also offered Chris P. There was a different trade there for basically involving Trey McBride as well. Like I wanted a tight end, and I'll tell you my theory here. When you hit that Yahoo show me, availability in other leagues option, those of you who are in all 4 of my Yahoo leagues will have noticed that, Fitzy owns Jordan Mason in all 4 of them. It was just like an obvious stash for me exiting the draft. I got very lucky that it became less of a stash, more of a must own. So in leagues where I am 2-0, I said, okay, it's time for me to try to improve my team now for the long term. So that was more the logic here. I agree that this is beneficial to both parties because Jordan Mason's awesome to have. I've already got my 2 wins out of Jordan Mason. Him only putting up 10 points this week, I'm not even happy because, like I said, I own him in all the other leagues. So I want him to do well. I'm vested in Brandy having success here.
I didn't like it because I was playing Brandy mostly. But, good for you, Fitz.
All right, Colin. I'm going to let you kind of go through this one and give your thoughts.
All right, well, let's just go top down. Jalen Naylor, okay. But Juwan Jennings for 3 for Corby. Let's talk about that for just a minute because Juwan Jennings had like 47 points or whatever. But a great pickup for Corby. I don't know what the future looks like for like Debo and, Ayuk and all that. He's back to Brandon Ayuk. But great pickup, Corby. You're going to be starting him this week?
Oh, definitely. You can't have a guy with 46 points on your bench and then not start him the next week. I don't care if he puts up 0. I have to start him. I don't care.
Of course Corby gets him, just like he got Devon A. Chan. He's his
Yeah,
Devon A.
right.
Chan this
Yeah,
year.
right. Isn't that interesting?
Jordan Whittington. He's the new. I call this the Puka effect, right? And of course, it's the Rams. But everyone, the injury opens up opportunity for a rookie who did really, this kind of obscure rookie. He had a good preseason, a good camp. So I put in $18. I'm desperate for anyone I can put in the flex, and I won. There's Adam and Corby there at 7 and 4 respectively. He got like 5 points. So but he, I think he played a lot more in the second half than the first. He's, I think he'll get up to speed. I think he can maybe average like 7 points. $20 for go ahead.
He will definitely have a better week than 5 points in the future. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I just at least one.
When I saw $18, I was like, damn, that's crazy. I would have never expected it to be that high.
Yeah, well.
Yep. No. Defend yourself. I've got a different topic on Jordan Whittington before we move on.
Obviously, it's after week 2, and still I feel like the big guys has like there's been no big waiver guy, but I wanted to do it early. That's always that's the lesson we learn every year. Not just because not just because so you're not sitting on it all year, but also because the earlier you put it in, the more weeks you have to play whoever you get. Look at Chris putting. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Chris putting 52 down on Quentin, which maybe is a little silly, but I don't think so. I like it, and not just because he did good, but I like to spend early. So yeah, let's get Jordan Whittington. And like I tell Fitzy, I'm saying I tell Fitzy because I tell it to both you guys, but Fitzy quoted me. I don't care what other people bet. I'm gonna bet what I don't think about it like, oh, what are other people gonna bet? I don't think about that. Just bet what you want to bet. Bet what you're comfortable. What you're not gonna feel dumb about losing. So I don't care about the Carson. I mean, I'm fine laughing about it, but I'm happy with Jordan Whittington. This isn't denial. Let's move on. What do you think about Josh Reynolds, Fitzy?
No. I had another Jordan Whittington.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thought. So we're gonna play the find the one that is not Jordan Whittington game real quick. Hold your thoughts. This could be Jordan Whittington. We don't know. We don't know. This guy could be Jordan Whittington or this one.
That's definitely Jordan Whittington. Come on, that's him.
Okay. So yeah, I just think he looks like the guy from Korn. Is my only thought on.
I thought this was 3 different pictures of people. I was like, oh my god, that guy looks just like Jordan Whittington.
All right, we can move on now.
All right, Josh Reynolds for 20. Now, I know I said you want to spend early, but $20, Josh.
This is like an F-, maybe the worst use of fab I've seen.
And I love Josh Reynolds.
What the heck? What are you thinking? $20 and the next highest bid was $0.
Can we just talk about all the handcuff hideout pickups together? Because it kind of goes together in my mind. And I'm just going to rush through here. I think Braylon Allen for 21.
Fine.
Great pickup, especially on brand for handcuff hideout. He's awesome. He might be the best running back in the league. I'm not kidding. He looks really good. But you pair that with Josh Reynolds for 20, and you pair that with Quentin Johnson for $52. Now, good pickup. He scored another touchdown this week. It's not a question of whether or not I believe in it. It's just like it is very similar to Chris P dropping $89 on 2 players a couple weeks back. Here we are seeing a drop of a measly $93 in fab in 1 week. That just opens you, you got to hope that these 3 guys do really well for the rest of the year is basically what it is.
And I think that Quentin Johnson can be good probably all season long. Josh Reynolds? No. Absolutely not. I also love Josh Reynolds. I love starting him when he's good. But my God, not for $20.
Yeah, I think he had 1 catch on Sunday, but you put yourself out there. Well, I respect it. Mike, look at Mike getting the winning bid on Andy Dalton, and that's actually let's go to Fitzy first, right? Evan Ingram, that's next on the list. $27 for Evan Ingram after you famously bet that $46 or whatever would be the second. We'll get into that later. That would be the second most bid. 27. There's me for 7 because I was like, oh, maybe I can get him and trade him to Fitzy if he likes him that much. Maybe he lowered his bid a lot. And then there's Adam for 4. Fitzy, you got your tight end. And then you traded for another one. Are we about to see the 2 tight end flex from you?
You know what? If my team gets blown up, then yes, absolutely. We saw quite a lot of Qs get added to the team. It might be about time. when Evan comes back. I love Evan.
I love Evan Ingram too.
Yeah.
Corby does not.
I hate Foster Moreau and Devin Ingram.
Corby, would you rather have Evan Ingram or T. Higgins on your team?
Oh God, that is such a hard one. Holy shit! In that sense, I will start Evan Ingram because my expectations are already 0, and I feel like T. Higgins could go off at any time, and he's not going to do it when he's in my lineup.
Yeah, Mike gets Andy Dalton for 39. There's Tyler for 22, and Chris for 15, and Adam for 5. Great pickup for Mike. I don't know how long he'll be starting. The Panthers are claiming that it's just a temporary benching of Bryce. I think that's a silly thing. So hopefully, it's the rest of the season. He looked great, and great's kind of an understatement. He looked amazing. They got great weapons in Carolina. Bryce Young wasn't able to utilize them, and Andy Dalton was. He's good for the running game. He's good for the passing game. Tommy Tremble was out there. New tight end pickup.
Tremble before me.
Tremble at the sight of me.
So good.
So what do you guys think? Andy Dalton is good job, Mike. Just really bolstering his already elite team.
Yeah, 5th highest scoring quarterback on the week for $39 for any amount of money. The 5th highest scoring quarterback on the week is a good pickup. I also don't agree that this is a temporary move. It doesn't make sense for it to be a temporary move unless they're trying to start whoever their third quarterback is. Bryce Young is done in Carolina. I truly believe that. I think this is probably the best pickup of the week. And before we get to the last one, I'm going to say I think the other 2 best pickups of the week were Juwan Jennings and Jalen Naylor. Anyone who didn't overpay by like $20 made a great pickup, because a lot of our pickups this week were $20+ overpays. Did we miss any? Colin?
I also spent $6 on Bucky Irving before Sunday started.
Yeah. I put in a bid, but I canceled it. But yeah, that was a good one. And did Rashad get hurt, or did he just not?
He just was not. He just hasn't been playing very well.
I don't think he's ever averaged above like 3.8 yards per carry. This is the thing with why I've never wanted to own him, because even if he gets numbers and he catches good, he's not an efficient runner. And Bucky Irvin was out there averaging like 6 per carry this year. He's doing great. So good pickup, Mike. Yeah, great pickup. Carson Steele for 58. I'm surprised to hear you say that, Fitzy. I really don't think it matters. I mean, the overpay thing is, I don't believe in overpays until, we look back on it, but we'll see. And I don't know. I don't think Pacheco's going to be back. The dude broke his leg. He's not going to be back in 6 weeks. I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Colin, don't be mad at me here. This is not a play on me saying Carson Steele is bad. This is a play on you must have looked at, oh no, the second highest was $22. I paid 36 too many dollars. You must have seen that and thought, oh man, right?
No, because I bet $1 million that I'm not. What am I going to spend that on? I'm not going to spend that on anything. I'd rather.
Fitzy will remember that. Fitzy will remember that. I
know. Okay, in hindsight, it's easy, but I'm saying like I'm not going to regret it now because to me it's the rational decision. But we'll see. We will see if it's right. But it's opinion, I guess. But to me, it makes sense. I'm happy with it. Am I in denial still? Maybe. But he started. He did decent. You can get, he's 1 touchdown away from being like, oh, what a great game. So he did fine. He looked good out there. He caught a ball or 2. So good job, Carson. Hopefully, he can win me a game. I'm 1-2. All right, Corby, roll the music. It's time for Yahoo Writes These, where we're going to go over these nice Yahoo comments. We're going to start here with Cam Akers, my favorite running back. Cam Akers, I said. And Graham says, Fortnite with 9 thumbs up, including whoever submitted this. Fitzy, was this you?
No, it was me.
Although it's a great question, Colin, because I'm the guy hitting the thumbs up in the Yahoo comments. A lot of degenerates, and I'm trying to feed them dopamine to keep them going. I'm part of the problem.
Why don't you give us a little synopsis, Corby? What do you think about this? Give me your analysis.
I love it. So I don't love Cam Akers' stat line from last game. It wasn't great. He scored a touchdown. That's great. But I do love Fortnite, and I love an out of context gibberish on a post about Cam Akers. And I saw 8 likes, so I thought I might as well make it 9. Graham, Fortnite.
And Corby, we've only got 2 this week, but you came with the fire on the second one, I think.
What was the other one? Oh. Yeah, so Michael Similar names.
This you?
Probably, yeah. This is my burner Yahoo account. Similar team. I went to Terry after he scored his touchdown last night. Beautiful catch, by the way. Terry was awesome last night. Michael said Terry made me make a big old mess, and boy, was there a big old mess at the Dew residence as well. Phew-wee!
I'm surprised the Yahoo police didn't get this one, but good for Michael.
Well, it could be gone by now. I did catch it 1 minute into existence.
Yeah, this one doesn't hit the trigger words. So if you want to be stinking up the Yahoo comment section, just say things like "big ol' mess" instead of the J word, and you might be able to survive.
I left a comment this week on Brenton Strange page. You know,
Ooh.
Brenton Strange, backup tight end. He's my tight end 2 in the 2 tight end league. The comment I left was strange things are happening to me because I put a $5 bid in for him. Commanders is Jeff Driscoll and Sam.
Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll.
So I'm going to head over to the Jeff Driscoll comment section, which is still not very populated. Scroll down until I find your name, Corby, and I can monitor your comments that way. Little Yahoo hack for the listeners here. Jeff Driscoll is still our home. What do you say, Colin? You want to take us home here with talking about week 4?
It's time to dive into week 4. Roll the...
Just playing every Family Guy clip that I have.
All right. Corby's hyped for week 4 as Fitzy takes on Chris Cloud here. Now, this is an important game for Fitzy, who's coming off a pretty devastating loss in that he's had a really good week score-wise and still lost because he had to face Michael's giant, scary team. So, this is, I think, he's got the momentum. Wait, what's the news on Devontae Smith? You think he's going to?
I don't think he's going to play. He officially has a concussion. If you saw the play where a lineman ran into him 10 yards after his forward progress was stopped, I don't know. It doesn't
flying off. He's not going to play.
I saw that happen, and I thought that looked worse than Tua's. That was my initial thought.
Who have you got slotted in, Fitzy? Tell me about something about your bench?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I was just looking up Jeff Driscoll. Let me check. Who's on my bench? Lad McConkey's starting for me this week.
All right. I'm going with Chris Cloud.
Yeah.
No, I like your team, Fitzy. Sam Darnold is a QB1 for sure. He's looking like Sam Howell out there. I think you're a little too invested in the Lions now. One of the reasons I was surprised you made that trade. We're looking at JMO, Laporta, and Gibbs now. And the Lions were supposed to have a very prolific and awesome offense. It hasn't quite been there, but maybe it'll hit. But who are they playing here? They're playing Seattle. Well, maybe it'll be good. Then we'll see. You don't hinge on them quite as much as Adam hinges on the Chiefs, but isn't too far away. Singletary and Hubbard, are they going to repeat? Probably not. So yeah, give me Chris.
I'm taking Chris for pretty much all those exact reasons. Fitzy, you're kind of in a hole. You got a lot of injuries. Yeah, you got Anthony Richardson. You don't know what Anthony Richardson's going to show up this week. I close my eyes and I see that pick where he just lobs it to the other team. Oh, it makes me laugh so hard. It's crazy. No, I'll take Chris for sure for this week.
We're about to make it a round of Chris. I think I'm catching Chris kind of as I don't want to say peaking, but he is certainly on the rise here. 2-1. I think it's an easy 3-1 here. Like you said, Devonta Smith, you take those 15 points out of my projection. On the bright side, I'll probably have a different defense than Green Bay. I want to just mention one thing here. Avid listeners might recall, and I don't remember if this made it into the pod, but at the end of our last episode, I went grocery shopping, and I was told, don't forget to make those waiver claims, Fitzy. Well, I went grocery shopping. I got home. I got into bed, and my eyes shot open. I said, oh, fuck. So I made my waiver claims from my phone, didn't sneak in my cheeky $1 defense bid that I often do. So you're going to see Green Bay go away. That's probably the only change I'm going to make to the team, and I'll just take the L. So congrats, Chris Cloud. It's almost a round of you.
We found it. The coin has returned. Welcome back to coin.
The coin also likes Chris.
Oh no, Fitzy.
No.
All right, it's the battle of the people with A's in their name as Brandy takes on Adam in a battle for 3-1, just like the last one. Brandy's got the momentum, and so does Adam because they both won games while scoring less than 140 points. I'm gonna go with Brandy because she beat me, which means she has a great team, even if it only scored less than 120 points. Go, Brandy. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this one, like you said, Colin, I might be becoming the Detroit Lions of this, but until then, I'm gonna still throw down at Adam for having too many Chiefs, and it's against the Chargers, who I think probably have a pretty good defense, right? And not a very good offense, and that's the important side. I don't think the Chargers are going to be putting up more than 20, 25 points, which means the Chiefs are going to play to that level and score like 25 to 28 points. It's probably good enough, but I don't believe the projection here. I do believe that Brandy is going to take home the dub. This one's a close one, though.
Wicked close one too for me too. I am definitely rolling with Brandy here still. You've got to figure something out with Zamir White. You've got to do something. I can't look at Z White in your flex every single week and continue to pick you. You got to do something about it, Brandy. Please, God. The guy stinks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I like your team, Adam, except for all of the Chiefs.
Well, except Rashi. We love Rashi, right?
I do like Rashee Rice. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And
Oh, shit. The coin takes Brandy. It's a round of Brandy. Everyone's going 2-0 on this pod.
Well,
someone's going 0-4.
Well, here we go. This is a tough time for me to say everyone's going, with the same picks, because I'm just going to ask you, raise your hand now if you're taking Taylor in this matchup. The projection's all wonky, right? I do believe Taylor's going to slot in here, take Adam Thielen out. Even then, it's give me Eric. Zach Charbonnet, still fun for now. We'll see what happens there. But if we're going to be saying Taylor's going to swap someone in for Adam Thielen, he might swap someone in for Zach. I'll take Eric to get the dub.
yeah. Let's be real. Eric should be 2-1. He had the misfortune of playing Corby's elite team in week 3 here. Gotten slapped with a 198 burger. I guess it's not a burger. It's like a taco or something. I don't know. What's right below a burger? He got slapped with a 198 hot dog or whatever. So he needs a get right win. It's about time. The clock is ticking on the launch button. He's got the codes and he's contemplating hitting it, but we'll have to see. I agree about the Zach Charbonnet thing. I made fun of him earlier with his RB2 spot, but it worked out with him getting the handcuff for Kenneth Walker because he's been great the last couple of weeks. But when Walker's back, then it's back to maybe they should put Jaden Reed in running back eligibility. That would help you a lot. I don't think it's going to happen. Go Taylor. But no, I'm picking Eric.
Yeah, Taylor, man, this sucks. Your team is in absolute dire straits. My God, it's like a race between two dying horses between you and Chris Colby for the worst team. I'm gonna take Eric here for sure. I'm gonna make it my lock of the week easily because Taylor's team is in such big trouble here. I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair, though. I still don't think Eric's team is very good. He still has Trevor Lawrence. That guy sucks. Worse than Daniel Jones. I'd be willing to make a bet about it later in the show.
Ooh,
I don't think Taylor is going to silver this year. I'll say that.
Oh, there's no chance.
I think we all kind of thought he was, though, before the season.
We all just believe it because all he has to do is go like 500 in both leagues. Like statistically, every time he goes 500 in a week, he gains like 5 Yahoo points because of where his rating is right now. That's all it would take. And we're looking at a screenshot of Adam Thielen in his lineup still. I believed in you, Taylor. I believed in you. This one's not lock of the week. I do want to just quickly round it back here. I'm not going to be tanking by any means. Like I said, 2-0 before I made that trade. I'm preparing for the playoffs. But until then, I'm locking in Chris Cloud. So just to go back on that one, had that one written down, missed it.
Walk us through, Corby.
All right, yeah, we've got two teams that can hit highs and have hit very lows before. We've got Calvin Ridley, revenge game against me for starting him. We've got the jalopy Jerome Ford, locked in running back 2 on my team. I've got Joe Burrow playing against Carolina. They can't play defense. I've got Lamar playing against Buffalo, who did play decent defense last night. It's gonna be a slobber knocker. Can Malik Neighbors keep the momentum going? And on the other foot, is Justin Herbert gonna actually throw touchdowns this season, or is he gonna just keep handing the ball off or throwing meaningless yards, empty yards? Is Mike Gesicki for real? I can ask a million questions. I'm going with myself because I am reeling, and my team is good, and I've got Jawan Jennings, and he just scored 46 points. He might score more. That could be his floor. That could be a floor game for Jawan Jennings. I'm going with me.
Yeah, Colin, I wanted to start this one with a question for you, and that is a pretty simple one. When are you going to update the Jawan Jennings projection here? I think you got to talk to your people about it still being a 7. Is this something you personally decided? Like, what's going on there?
I'm a big Debo fan, so I'm just really counting on him being there this week. I love Debo. I know Corby loves Debo, so I think he's making it out there. And it'll hurt Jawan Jennings, but we'll see.
Okay, so as long as you promise to get that one, like, that's where you have it right now. I think that'll go up. I'm going to make a bet that he will score somewhere between 7 and 46 points this week. I'm taking Corby to hit the over.
Yeah, Corby's team is red hot. Oh, ouch, it hurts. Malik Neighbors is like one of the best picks so far in the draft, I think. He was the pick of the draft. What was he, like $16 or something like that? Great job. You got a bunch of forgotten receivers in Deontay Jawan and Terry McLaurin on your bench. You got such a solid team all around. I love Jerome Ford, even though the offense, like Fitzy said, has been historically bad. Put in Jameis, please. Everyone would be so much better with Jameis. Everybody. There's not one person who would be like, oh no. It would just be such a they got weapons. They got a good offensive line. Don't just use them as your 4th down short yardage quarterback. But yeah, sorry. Yes, Corby all the way. Love the team. Tyler, I like your team too. I don't think, even if Kenneth Walker plays, I don't think they're going to give him a full workload. I think that maybe they'll ease him in a bit. But you got a lot of get-right games on your team too. Your Baker, Mike Evans stack needs a good game. So I think you could win, but I'm picking Corby.
So far, we have all the humans have picked all the same people. The coin is also taking Corby, but I forgot to mention that the coin is indeed on Taylor Island. So right now, I think, we are set up to go 4-0. The coin's unfortunately going to go 3-1. Hopefully we get some variation coming up here with a 50-50 projected score here between Throw Rogan and No Miracles this time. It's the battle for DeBerry. And I'm so excited to see who wins what could be the final battle down in DeBerry. Before I make a pick, because I really got to digest this a little bit. Colin, do you have any notes on this one? Any thoughts?
I think Chris is a little overprojected here. I'm taking Mike, and it's an easy pick for me. Mike's team is not red hot. It's what's the hottest fire? Blue or something? It's blue hot. Yeah, Mike's team is it's young, it's sexy, it's hot, it's in, it's trendy. Give me Mike.
Yeah, Mike is very demure, and Throw Rogan very, very, very Ohio, as the kids say. No L Riz for Chris. Hawk Tua for Mike. So with that in mind, I am in on Mike Bekonowitz. He's gonna win. Go, Mike, go.
See, Mike is 3-0. It could finally be his year. And I hate to play the old tune here, but I just don't think it's his week. I think he's going to be kicked out of DeBerry when Chris P plants his flag. which means I am going to be on Chris P. Island as the coin is taking Mike.
When you're 13-8, you can, or whatever you are, 10 and what are you? What's your record? 13
and 5.
13-5. You can fall on your sword a little just for the content, you know.
This is not for the content.
You don't want us all picking the same person every time, because I know. Let's go ahead. Or did you say who the coin is picking?
The coin is picking Mike, putting me on Chris P. Island.
Because I feel like we come on. For once, we all got to take me, right? It's the battle for the trade. It's the battle of the trade. As Rico Dowdle and Brandon
Battle
Allen
of the trade.
As Rico Dowdle, Jacoby Myers, and Braylon Allen takes on Tutu Atwell, Carson Steele, and DeAndre Swift. Oh no, get him off my fucking starting lineup. I think I'm gonna win. Hopefully, I really need a win here. I need to get 2-2. Chris's team isn't that bad. I think we're both a little under projected here. Oh, maybe not me. He is. Man, I really wish I had Zach Ertz. That'd be cool. I don't know why they definitely just haven't done the projections this week, right? Mark Andrews 9.8 is silly. Give me me. What do you guys think?
Oh, this is close.
Oh, lock of the week. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Okay, hold on. All right. This is way closer than I thought. Like, I just assumed that if you're playing Chris Colby, then it's an auto win. But Colin, my goodness, Mark Andrews stinks. Carson Steele, not a great week one as the lead man, you know, but you do have Tutu, and he could be your breakout and your rock, and we could be seeing some revenge games on the other side, you know. Maybe Dobbins is upset that you traded him, and he goes absolutely bananas. He's got the stack. He's got the best friend strategy. He's got LA Chargers. He's got Dobbins and Quentin Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely gonna pick you, Colin. I think you're gonna win.
Yeah, Colin, I don't appreciate being called out making a pick for the content, because, you know, that would imply that I was going to pick you this week when Chris Colby's clearly going to win. I'm kidding. It's a weird one where you hate to see a projection of only 129. Like, it's a low number for 111. Like, to be projected that low by Yahoo does not feel good. This one is not a lock of the week, and it's really, I think, interesting where the players that were involved with the trade could be pretty close in terms of points. But I still don't believe Jacoby Myers is any good. Braylon Allen, as much as I like him on your team and as a running back, he's a backup. Yeah, Colin, I'm going to be taking you and the coin, who every week, just a little peek behind the curtain, I Google roll a D6 to see which of the 6 matchups the coin will be locking in. The coin is locking in Colin.
Let's go.
The coin's moving on to next week.
Speaking of moving on to next week, let's look at last week's bets and make some new ones. What do you guys say? Money. All right, so last week with some good bets going on, such as the sequel to Zay Flowers versus Devontae Smith. As Zay Flowers did not have a good game. He was like the one bad player on Corby's team, while Devontae had a good game. 14.9, 5.3. Corby, are you concerned?
No, not at all. They just didn't need him.
They had Mark Andrews out there.
Nah, they just ran the ball a million times. Derrick Henry went fucking God mode and just ran the ball a million times. And that's just going to happen sometimes with Zay, is my opinion. So I'm not concerned at all with him. I am feeling a little slighted because I thought that there would be a better chance of me to get it because of Devontae Smith getting hurt. And so that was maybe a little selfish of me, but that's karma for me. And Zay was like, that's my friend. And we're not going to do that. We're not going to slight Devontae Smith like that. And so,
for him.
Anyways.
Next up, we got the Carson Steele Fab spending, the highest bid that isn't one of us. Corby, I said 60, Fitzy said 51. Corby, 27. That was the closest, with Brandy with 22. So was there some collusion going on? We'll never know.
No.
It wouldn't have mattered
Terrible
either way.
position.
It's not like you would have known that she was second. So
Yeah, that's very true.
Overtime game. There was not an overtime game, which is very surprising to me. I feel like most weeks there are, but there was not. So Fitzy said no. Corby said
There was one Thursday night, wasn't there? Wasn't it?
no.
Wasn't
Oh
the
yeah.
Patriots Pats game Thursday night?
All right. So this was an OT on Sunday, but
Yeah.
my apologies. I guess there was a week three overtime bet game. A trade before 1 p.m.
Week 3 Thursday overtime. You
Was-
think there was
was
one on Thursday when the Jets crushed the soul of the New England Patriots?
Oh,
It
why
was
did
the
I
most
think that you
dominant
went
performance I've ever seen as
Why
a
did I
Jets
think
fan.
that went into overtime?
There-
That was
there was a 2-decade weight lifted off my shoulders. I don't like to talk about real football on this pod. It's all about content and fantasy. As a Jets fan, oh my goodness. Like, the room got messy. Ugh. So yeah, there was no overtime on Thursday, and you win the bet. Congrats.
Will
I win the bet.
You win the bet,
Fitzy
bro.
wins
What
the
are you
bet.
talking about?
Okay.
Take a
It's all
victory lap.
coming up, Fitzy.
Well, not here, as we bet a trade before 1 p.m. on Sunday kickoff. Will there be a trade before then? There was a trade, but it included Fitzy, so it didn't count. So Corby gets the $10 from me and Fitzy, $5 from each. So good for you, Corby. Who's second place Evan Ingram bid? Was an oddly specific bet. Fitzy's 46. Corby said 4. Corby was the winning bet with 4, which is exactly what Tyler. I was there also for 7, but I don't count. Corby, you were right with 4. Good job. Right, that sounds right. Good job, Corby.
I'll tell you what, Colin. I'm done making bets for the content. From here on out, it's all calculated strategy.
Well, this was a calculated strategy here. Or did someone else have something to say about that one?
I was just gonna say that was the easiest $20 I've ever made. Right there.
Those
the 1
two
p.m.
bets?
kickoff trade and the second place Evan Ingram one. Baby.
Well, I mean, the trade one was easy, but the Evan Ingram.
Actually, $30 because Carson Steele too.
Wow, Corby makes some money. Skylar Thompson versus the field. Skylar Thompson was the second to worst starting quarterback this week. Incredible. I almost got it. He scored 0.3 more points than Jacoby Brissett. Both of them were pulled for who did Skylar get pulled for? Tim Boyle. And Jacoby Brissett for Drake May, of course. So 2 awful showings. At least Jacoby Brissett had the excuse of playing the Jets. So good job, Fitz. You got it. I'm pretty proud that I almost won, though.
You should be proud. I did not realize how close this was until you put the doc here together, Colin. So thanks for always doing the legwork. This is some incredible content.
It was close. And what was maybe a little close, too, is Fitzy's tight end will be the lowest scoring position on his roster. Fitzy said it would, and I said no. I took the field. He gave me the field. And Anthony Richardson and Jameson Williams both, they scored less than Laporta, 5.8. This was obviously made before you traded for Laporta. Do you know who you would have started maybe if you didn't pick up?
I don't. I might have taken the 0. I don't really know, man. Yeah, Colin, you could have offered me a $3,000 bet that Anthony Richardson was going to outscore my tight end. I would have taken it. You'd buy the house, you'd buy the farm with that bet. That one was heartbreaking. Is that it for last week?
That is it for last week. So what do you guys say we make a million bets about this Jets-Broncos game?
So I want to make a million bets about this Jets-Broncos game. I think I want to make a million bets about this Jets-Broncos game between the hours of like 10:30 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
I'm okay with like taking phone video. This can be good content for the next episode.
Definitely.
I really had to bite my tongue as I was preparing bets. If you've got a few good ones, I'll hear a couple live on this pod.
I think I want to stew and make some absolutely ridiculous ones,
Right.
like just some totally stupid, dumbass things. Not even about the game, just the experience of being there, everything about it. It's
absolutely. Colin, I've got a quick targeted one for you. If you don't want to take it, then Corby can. It's a really simple one. I think that Zach Ertz will be outscored by Mark Andrews. I'm betting on your player. What do you think?
Oh, I had a Mark Andrews bet prepared too, but let's do this one. Yeah. Well, Zach Ertz outscore Mark Andrews. Who are the Commanders playing? I know that the Ravens are playing Buffalo, I believe, which means the Commanders must be playing.
I think they're playing Arizona.
Which means they must be playing Arizona in Zach Ertz's revenge game. Give me who are you betting on? Andrews or Ertz?
I'm betting on Andrews. Yeah.
Give me Ertz for sure. I'm betting against my own player because he scored 0 points. Every week, Zach Ertz has outscored Mark Andrews.
That's truly, when you talk about making a bet for the content is make Colin bet against his own players.
Each week, Zach Ertz has outscored both Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. Now, that's only someone could have foreseen the rise of Ertz.
He's older than both of them, which is funny.
Both of them combined.
No, not both of them combined. I want to make. All right, I talked about Trevor Lawrence earlier. I want to make a rest of season bet. I bet that Daniel Jones will outscore Trevor Lawrence for the rest of the season.
All right, I'll take it.
I'll take 50 if you want. If you want in, let's do it.
He's got the money to spare after last week.
I am torn, and so will Daniel Jones's Achilles. Give me Trevor Lawrence. Okay, this one's pretty simple. The last couple of weeks, it's been very defensive in the NFL. We haven't seen quarterbacks doing particularly well, right? We did see 3 defenses started in our league score over 10 points last week. And I got a pretty simple one. I'm going to take the over on 2.5 10-point defenses across the entire league this week.
Just starters?
Starters. So it has to be started in our league. I believe we're going to keep the defense train rolling. A lot of sacks this week.
I don't want to touch it. What do you think, Corby?
I'm in. I'll take the under, I guess.
Hold on. Why would you prefer the over?
Yeah, I think I would prefer the over.
Well, then don't do that to yourself. I'll take the under.
For the content.
It's his plan all along, I think.
Oh, shit.
Analytical. And I'm just going to throw out there, if one of you two, do you have a line on how many weeks Deshaun Watson is going to start for the Browns? Like, do you think by week 8 he's going to still be starting? By week 12 he's going to still be starting?
Definitely by week 8. It's just, they got the whole sunk cost fallacy going on. They won't sit him. They spent too much on him, even though he's so bad. They're hoping he'll play himself into shape. It's just not happening. It's been, a year and a half or whatever. It's just too bad because, that team could go places. But it isn't going anywhere but the massage parlor with Deshaun Watson.
What the Sigma?
All right, Colin. Why don't you rub and tug us right out of here and close the show up, huh?
All right. Sorry about the lack of bets, but I'm sure we can come back next week with a recap of some crazy bets. But that is it for the Why Do Boys Make podcast this week. The companion podcast of the Why Do Boys Play Games Fantasy Football League. I want to thank you for watching the whole thing. Even you, Yogi Benogi, if you're still here, but give it a like and a subscribe, please, if you haven't already subscribed. We gave your channel actually a lot of exposure this week, so you really think it's a good trade.
I'm going to jump in and say, if you comment this week, you are confirmed as the next guest of the Why Do Boys Play Games podcast.
I love it.
Confirmed.
Let's get it. Let's get a new guest because we've already gone through the league. Let's get a new guest. We do need a guest soon, though. Let's get a guest. Next week or the week after. It's time to get him in. Maybe get Luke in here. Has he ever been on the? I forget. Has he been on here?
No, he's not been on the show.
Yeah, maybe Luke get in here or something. Maybe get Jason in to give his.
First hand account of the drama.
I think the wounds have. All right. So make sure to like this video, ring the bell, and subscribe. Make sure to comment. Read the whole description for a little special Easter egg. Watch my outro. Do all those things. You guys are beautiful. This is a great league. Look at your trades, please. And I think that's it for what I got to say. Do you guys have any plugs? The Bachelorette, Golden Bachelorette, every Wednesday on ABC at 8.
Speaking of plugs, a lot of hair plugs on that show, huh, Colin?
I'm Colin.
I'm Fitzy.
Soy Corby.
And gamers, Twiggle on!